film featuring an orange Jiguli and a gray finish, double glazed windows, a double stove?
That was in the famous Hydraulics Hotel, or something just like that.
Yeah, the Hydraulics Hotel.
And then he sent him to Armenia too.
Yeah, to Armenia. You see what kind of distribution system they had? Sending a northern car to a hot country?
Diesel will burn today. About 50 liters, I hope.
Yeah, more like 150 liters?
Damn, come on, seriously? Then, gentlemen, we have somehow managed to get ourselves completely stuck in the only muddy puddle in the middle of this field, just so we could slowly unwind a full 50-meter winch cable. Genyuk ran off. Let's go wind it up.
We're unscrewing it. See the roller? Loosening it up.
Yeah, loosening it. The tensioner block. Here.
There's a through-type winch installed here right behind the cab. The cable is 55 meters long and in principle can pull a 12-ton vehicle. But if the winch can't help you, it's time to go to church. Either someone put a curse on you or you're an idiot.
Now we need to unwind it and pull. I'll unhook it over there now.
Pull it, wind it all up very quickly, or you will surely end up with a huge mess. Pull, pull. Why are you just standing there watching? Don't stop now. Keep on pulling it. 55, 56, 57, 58, 59.
Meters of cable, right in the comments. How much does a 55-meter cable weigh?
There was no discharge.
The charging was happening. There were even 20 amps, right?
And now we can't start up. What the hell?
There was no consumption, nothing at all.
There are two options. Either your engine is failing or we're just cold.
We started up. It wasn't the bobbin, but a fault in the wheel.
In short, gentlemen, don't buy it. Chinese batteries. A Chinese battery is pure evil. There's no other way to put it. All this dancing around with tambourines is because of them, but at least we took the 69th out for a spin with Evgeny. Unexpectedly. We continue the dance. If you think the festival is over, just... They called from the neighboring settlement and asked Alexei to bring some batteries. These are different again, and they're heavier than the Chinese ones. If you can carry a Chinese one for a truck by yourself, with these it takes 2 people, and it's still tough. But let's hope it actually starts up this time. What do you mean? Why didn't we let the air out of the tires? Because we'll be too lazy to pump them back up later. That's already the next stage, letting the air out of the tires by hand. Do you think that's enough? Yeah. All right, then I'll go get the shackle and the extension. Hold on, let's take a look first. Over there, past the aspen, that's where I am. Now we still need to fully stretch them out. No, there is a clear groove there.
Now we have to carefully spread it apart once again. There, put it back right there. That is exactly how it should be.
I've really come to respect the winch. Did you see how it practically sliced off the top layer of turf? Zhenya is worried that the frame got bent, but how could it get bent? The car isn't loaded. Of course, you'll write in the comments that we should have let the air out of the tires. We should have, but then you wouldn't have seen how the winch works. Evgeny really is worried. I really appreciate this vehicle, and I have a soft spot for it. All the more so because the KrAZ ended up in the right hands. Little by little, it's starting to turn into the very vehicle we all remember. And a new project has materialized, all on its own. And I'll let you in on a big secret. I just wanted to take it for a spin. Well, without going overboard, of course. Let me remind you of the story, just to refresh your memory, so to speak. The KrAZ-255 is a reworked version of the YAS-214, which was produced in the Russian Soviet Socialist Republic. Later, the documentation was transferred to the Kremenchuk plant in the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic. And there, at the KrAZ plant, Soviet engineers and designers improved the model. Just so you know, over the years of production, the quality of KrAZ trucks kept getting better. Need proof? Well, for example, the KrAZ trucks from the 1970s had a lifespan of only 70,000 kilometers. But by the 1980s, that had increased to 140,000 kilometers. However, following the collapse, the quality of KrAZ trucks actually never again reached 280,000. Oh, and one more crucial thing. Fuel consumption remarkably dropped from 120 down to 70 liters per 100 kilometers. Before setting off on a journey, naturally, you have to bring the heart to life of the monster. This is the KrAZ-255, developed in the 1950s in Yaroslavl. It has an almost 15-liter displacement. Diesel, V-shaped, 8-cylinder. The engine has 2 valves per cylinder. Maximum power is 240 horsepower. At 2,100 revolutions per minute, maximum torque is 883 Newton meters at 1,500 revolutions per minute. Compression ratio is 16.5. All right, now we're going to bring this one to life. This 12-ton monster. While Zhenya is starting it up, there are just some things that are better. It's better if I don't get involved with them. Let me show you something now. Die all living things, damn it. We don't have a tarp or a bed, so I can show you in real time how all of this works. The drive shafts here. Damn, the differentials are non-through, the axles are interchangeable. So in theory, you can swap out each axle. Basically, if something breaks, you can swap them around in a circle. The KrAZ is huge. The curb weight is almost 12 tons and the gross weight is 19.5. Overall length is 8,645 millimeters. Width is 2,750 millimeters. Height is 2,940 millimeters. And the wheelbase is 3,175 millimeters. I wouldn't say it's a complete copy of the truck. The KrAZ turned out to be better and more technologically advanced than the American Diamond. And what was done in Ukraine actually raised the vehicle to a level above its overseas competitors. Though with a few caveats. Transcending boundaries and expressing emotions that words alone cannot capture. KrAZ immediately honed his skills to move where there are no roads or where there are no roads, it doesn't matter. He also had to be able to withstand the bitter cold with complete calm. Siberia. After all, when the Lapotnik was being developed, we were actively mastering it. Comfort of wood, steel inlay, and wood throughout the cabin matching the metal. In summer, under the sun, the cabin creaks terribly, and in winter, snow gets into every crack. It drifts in. But that's not the main thing. The main thing is that the cabin is spacious and the heater works well when it's above zero outside. You can move across snow, sand, and other weak surfaces. In fact, you should. But it's better to let some air out of the tires. There was a centralized tire inflation system here, and it will definitely be restored in the future. It enables you to quickly lower the tire pressure, from 3.8 down to 1 atmosphere. These Lapkas were created specifically for the man-eater. They were developed by the Tire Industry Research Institute, NIH, and the Voronezh Tire Plant, VSHIS. They were made in Voronezh, VAI-3, Voronezh's S, 3 perversions. Just kidding. Why let the tires down? This increases the contact patch with the supporting surface by almost 70% and improves the vehicle's off-road capability. And now, it is time to consciously shift your focus and begin the process of actively engaging your prefrontal cortex, the essential part of your brain responsible for complex decision-making, logical reasoning, and focus. KrAZ once again demonstrated that single tires are the best choice. The front drive wheels effectively create the track, and the rear drive bogie, essentially following that established path on a ready-made road, pushes the vehicle forward. And the Lapotnik also boasts an epic ground clearance. Granted, with fully inflated tires, it's 360 millimeters, but I have to say, the overhangs aren't that big either. It can handle a 30-degree incline, and if the angle isn't enough, it'll just shave it off with its bumper, no problem. A 1-meter deep Ford won't scare it either. When you deflate the tires, the power steering goes soft too. Well, that's a joke, of course. With deflated tires, steering becomes even trickier. But with fully inflated tires, it's just right. The turning radius is exactly 14 meters. Yes, it is 14 meters. It's a pretty fast vehicle. Fast for off-road conditions. Large tires and a leaf spring suspension, which only really works well when fully loaded, or ensure a fairly comfortable ride over bumps and potholes. On the highway, 70 kilometers per hour. On dirt roads, it all depends on your courage and arm strength. Nevertheless, it is important to note that to drive a KrAZ you need considerable physical strength and great endurance. The KrAZ can also tow an impressive trailer with a maximum load of 30 tons. As for the mechanical gearbox, it is a standard 5-speed manual system integrated here. But unlike other domestic trucks that are made for off-roading, the clutch here is installed as the 2-disc dry type. The gearbox already has synchronized gears, except for first gear. The diesel engine has enough power basically at all times. When the truck is empty, you can easily start off in second gear. But even if you mess up the gears, the KrAZ will forgive you. It'll blow a cloud of Chernobyl black soot and still keep going. Now, for the sad part, the KrAZ has excellent off-road capabilities, especially considering the weight it carries, fuel consumption and reliability. But how do people here think? An underloaded or overloaded truck is supposed to drive like a tank, and in that case, the KrAZ will easily get stuck in the mud. It's heavy and powerful. It's not hard to bog down this big rig, as we found out ourselves. The 255 feels right at home, fording northern rivers with rocky bottoms. It isn't afraid of harsh frosts and forgives careless drivers' mistakes. So what's going on with KrAZ trucks today? The old ones are becoming rare, and new ones are still being produced. Life goes on as usual. When the KrAZ is finally finished and looks like a gem, I'll definitely come visit Evgeny and tell you about the KrAZ again. And at the end, I'll add that phrase again. Without politics. All right?